quote, hon.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Woohoo! Everyone, this is Heather Havenwood. I am sitting here in gorgeous Aspen. Let's see if I can show you guys Adelia. Here's Stephanie. There is the amazing, beautiful, I don't know if y'all can see that. It's gorgeous. Whew. So, I'm doing a quick video. Her and I were about to sit down and we're doing my presentation. I'm actually speaking live at Sam's event in Vegas on Thursday. And so what we're talking about, I'm going to give you a little preview, is the age of influence. Whoo, age of influence. See, we're no longer in the age of Aquarius. We are in the age of influence. We are paid for our value in the marketplace today. So what is value in today's marketplace? Well, there's three things. There's content, connection, and community. All right, so content, let's think Gary Vee, massive content he talks about all the time, which I highly agree with him. And that if you're not on social media, you're 100% vulnerable. If you're not dominating social media, then you're vulnerable 100%. I mean, it's really key, right? So some people say, oh, I don't need to be on social media, blah, blah, blah. There's actually some people we're talking about, Dan Kennedy, who has been a master at marketing for many years. He kind of fell to the face of the earth because he decided he didn't want to do social media. He said it was stupid. And so his last super conference, where I've been to many times, there was 1,000 people at, 700 people at, the last super conference in Dallas was 100 people, maybe. It's because he hasn't been able to really keep up with the times. He hasn't been able to say, hey, you know what? This is where things at. He didn't follow what Gary Vee's doing. He actually had an opportunity to lead the way and be a Gary Vee. And Dan Kennedy said, kind of screw that. He doesn't believe in it. So again, there's three things that we're paid for our value in the marketplace today. And right now, what is value? Three things: content, connection, and community. So here's an example of connection. Kardashians, Oprah, and Trump. Okay, I'm going to go into that in just a minute. And then there's community. Facebook, of course, so many different places of community, membership sites. Even Amazon has a community to it. Anything that creates that kind of sense of community and connection and flow, meetups, Eventbrite. There's so many different companies that have that kind of connection piece. So again, we're just kind of going through this. I'm going to be speaking about this at Sam's, and I want to go through this. So again, now here's the thing. Expertise is not value in today's marketplace. I'm reading today. Expertise is not value in the marketplace. All right. Well, let's talk about that. Let's give you an example of that. Trump, Kardashians, and Oprah. Look, like him or not, he's our president. He even says he's not an expert. He surrounds himself with advisors. He surrounds himself with experts. But he even says he's the promoter, but he's not an expert. He kind of says that. Now he's got his own brand, but he has learned that his brand is his insurance. But Kardashians, they can sell, they can sell baby diapers
and mascara.
In the same freaking quote or post and kill it. You know what I mean? So they're not an expert in anything. Oprah talks about this too. She says, I'm not an expert. I am the one that actually is collaborating the experts and saying, hey, what's your story? Or she's the one that put Eckhart Tolle on the map and Maureen Williamson on the map. And
she had Gary Zukov on when her producers said, you can't put some new agey philosopher on daytime television. And she said, watch me. I am going to lead the charge in consciousness. Oprah Winfrey, since Jesus Christ, no one has been as powerful as Oprah Winfrey for bringing consciousness movement into the United States. She brought it to daytime television where stay-at-home moms were watching soap operas, and then she's got Gary Zukov on there talking about consciousness and the new age movement and oneness and really living with an inspired life. Mm-hmm. She's incredibly influential. Not an expert.
Yeah, she's not an expert. Right. She's influential. So that brings me to today's world. We are in the age of influence. All right. And your brand is your insurance. Your brand can supersede you. So you can be sitting here like I am. All right. Gorgeousness. Mm-hmm. Sitting here, and I still have an influence. I still have a brand that goes beyond me sitting here in Aspen, Colorado, going hiking and yoga-ing and doing all really cool stuff. I want to see your kids.
We are doing a lot of yoga.
We are doing a lot of yoga. You're not going to see my kids. Well, somebody's saying they want to see my kids.
I'm her baby right now. Fortnite.
She's my, yeah.
Give me a kiss. Yeah, she is hot.
I'm hot. She's hotter. That's okay. It's all good. So, all right. Brand supersedes. So, our 3 pieces, this is where we're going to talk about it. Ready? So, Stephanie, our 3 things that your brand is your insurance. There's 3 things. One is what's your value. So, we should probably do that. That's the first one. What is our value, right? Yeah. So, okay, that's the first one.
What's your life's purpose?
What's the value?
What's your why?
Well,
like what are you giving to
the
people?
3 things of, so if we're doing Age of Influence, we're defining in the presentation what is influence.
So
today.
the number one thing that's most important is kind of like the story with Bill Phillips.
Yes.
So my ex-husband walked into Bill Phillips' house and he said, "Bill, why do you have 3 pools? Why isn't 1 pool enough?" And Bill looked at my former husband, my co-parent, who I love, and he said, "You know what, Robert? The more people you help, the more money you make." Mm-hmm. And these pools and this mansion reminds me of the impact I have on people's lives.
So in the world of influence, the number 1 is impact on lives.
Value, yeah.
Impact lives, right? Through providing value.
Yes.
Perfect.
Find thirsty people and give them a drink.
Ooh, I love that. Find thirsty people and give them a drink. Okay, I love that. All right, now the second thing of influence, the second pillar, called a pillar, second pillar.
I like pillar, it's so strong.
Yeah, pillar, second pillar. So 3 pillars of really creating an influence that will supersede yourself and it'll be your brand, right? So
the first time I gave this talk, same content almost, only I don't have as much influence as you, so you're better suited to.
Oh my gosh,
you're better
She's
suited.
Being nice.
You're better suited to give this talk. It was clarity about your purpose, confidence. Can you present your material knowing that you're the baddest ass bitch who can present this content? That if people listen to you, they will be blessed, they will be prosperous, and they'll be doing it efficiently. So you've got to portray. You've got to have that confidence. Get up there and do lives. Get up there and post on Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. You need to be all over the place. Like Gary Vee says, if you aren't posting on every channel, you're leaving money on the table.
You're leaving money on the table.
And people are going to steamroll over you. Because on the internet, if you're scrolling Facebook or Instagram, how many seconds do you have to get someone's attention? There's a lot of argument around this. It's between 2 and 6 seconds.
It's 2 and 6 seconds. That's actually good. Hold on, stay there. Where's your phone?
It's in one of my books here. So having that confidence to say, I have a message, I'm clear about that message, I know how I can help and bless people, and then having the confidence to put it all over the internet.
Yep.
And then the third pillar that I see is community. You have to have your tribe
is your
vibe and vice versa. And if you're not surrounding yourself with powerful people who are impacting you, impacting your confidence, reiterating your superpower, reiterating your magic, you're done. You're gone for. What are we looking for?
What do you flip it?
Oh, you flip it? You're not. You're on slow-mo. There you go. Got it.
I gotta do that. Ooh. Okay, so we're doing 2 videos at once. So we're talking about today with Stephanie Hirsch and myself talking about the age of influence, and we're co-creating a presentation right now. So there's 3 pillars. Number 1, we have impact lives, right? So what we're talking about here, let's just go back for just a second, that we are paid for our value in the marketplace today, right? Jim Rome, we're paid for our value in the marketplace. So really, what is value in today's world? So there's three things I see: content, connection, community. All right, so example of content, and let's just talk about it: Wall Street Journal, Fox News, any kind of publication piece, Gary V, content, right? Then there's connections human to human, H to H, Kardashians, Oprah, Trump. And we're going to talk about that, what they are. They are actually not experts, they are influence, which is the key today. And then the third is community, Facebook, Instagram, Meetup, and Evite. There's a ton of different groups that actually are creating massive amount of community.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into this, right? So what is the quote by Gary Vee? Just harmonize for it about that.
So
vulnerability.
I spent about a week of my life recently watching probably 10 or 15 hours of Gary Vee's videos, because a lot of my friends online started dissing Gary Vee, and they were like, oh, it's hustle porn. He's telling you to work so hard.
No.
You know, you got to work 100-hour week to match up to Gary Vee. It's not practical for parents. It's not practical for people who are in relationships, yada, yada. And so I started really studying his work, and I'm like listening to every signature talk I could find on the internet, like every night till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And here's what I took away.
Okay.
And I'm going to summarize the quote. I actually have I found that I transcribed one of his speeches on social media for Heather, so I'm gonna grab that soon. But what he said was this: if you are not posting consistently everywhere you can on the internet, if you're not investing the $5 to boost a post on Facebook or Instagram,
then you shouldn't be in business.
You shouldn't be in business.
I so agree with that. So people
are vulnerable to getting steamrolled, and within 30 days, it doesn't matter if you're Oprah fucking Winfrey, people are going to forget about you. That's the reality of our world today.
That is the reality of our world today. What does Oprah say? That's a tweet moment. She says that. I love that. One of the things that people talk about, I talk about today, the influencer growth formula, is how you actually create content and become omnipresent. That word omnipresent was, I guess, explained to me a year ago by someone, Richard, and he's like, Heather, you need to learn to be omnipresent. And I said, what the hell is that? Now, up until that point, I was similar to your friends that you talked about. I disagreed with Gary Vee up at that point. I didn't have myself everywhere. I thought it was stupid. I did. I thought, who in the world is going to be constantly watching me? I mean, what kind of value am I going to add? But when it's explained to me that the value in today's world is how we are, the marketplace. What did I say? I forgot. We are paid for our value in the marketplace. And you start to ask that question, what really is our value in today's world? We have to really look at that. In the 80s, it was something different. In the 90s, it was about expertise. And people now are really confused. And
in the 90s, we just send direct mail if we want to advertise. That's the only option you had.
Now
if
it's
you can't
totally
afford
different.
A TV spot.
So the question is, if you have, your brand has to be your influence, meaning it could be your face. My brand is Sexy Boss. It's my face. Yours is Mom Wear Capes. Now it's Aspen Entrepreneur. And you have to be able to put energy into that over and over and over and over and over again, because your brand is your influence. I want people to understand that. Your brand is your influence in today's world. And I have so many women specifically, right, that don't like that. They're like, I don't want to look at the camera. I have no makeup on. Like, I'm all red. And I mean, you've
got sunscreen all over your face.
I do have sunscreen because I'm literally in Aspen, Colorado. Y'all can't see that. And I've been in the sun, and I've, gotten my ass kicked, basically. Look at that.
We were doing booty yoga. Tell them about it.
Oh, yeah.
He was twerking in down dog.
It was working. I'm not going to do that. I'm embarrassed. Yeah, she's very good at that. But women today aren't willing, they're not confident in looking at the camera and saying, hey, I have value in the marketplace. I want to share what that value is. They're scared to death to do it.
Yeah.
So let's go into the three pillars. Number one, of age of influence. How do you really build your influence? Number one is you have to really focus on impacting lives. Tell your story about that.
Are we going to talk about the pool story?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really funny. My co-parent is, he's a genius marketer, and he thought he knew everything about marketing. He's even got a TV show right now on A&E about businesses. So This guy thinks he knows everything about marketing, and he goes to Bill Phillips' house. It's a mansion. There's like 100 people there for this party. And he looks at this kidney-shaped pool on one side of the room, and then right in front of the front door, there's another one. And then on the other side of the house, there's another one. And he goes, Bill, why do you have so many pools in your house? Isn't one enough? You can't enjoy 3 pools at once. And Bill said, Robert, what I understand is that the more people I help, the more money I make. And every time I see these pools, I can see several million people that I've blessed with his products, with his programs, with his procedures, with his whatever else he sold.
Yeah.
He sold everything.
Bill Phillips is awesome.
He's awesome.
He is awesome.
He's such a badass. And so that story, I never forgot. It impacted my life so much that when I look at my vision board and I'm seeing libraries with millions of books and I'm seeing all the other, things that I have on that vision board right there, I'm going, oh my gosh, I just need to help more people.
Yeah. Joe Sugarman says, meant to remind, if your health isn't doing well, you focus on your health, right? Because what you focus on expands. So if you focus on your health, it expands, it gets better. If your relationship is not doing well, you focus on your relationship and it expands and gets better. But money, if you focus on more money, it doesn't get bigger. How do you make more money? You focus on helping more people, which goes back into influence. Oprah is not an expert, but she's influential massively now. She's with Weight Watchers and so many other things. Trump is very influential. I get Trump tweets in the morning from my Alexa, and Alexa reads me my Trump tweets. Why do I do that? It's not because I love or hate Trump. It doesn't matter. It's that I know that whatever he writes, it actually influences the entire media cycle for 24 hours. He makes one text, one tweet, and that will be the entire media cycle for 24 hours. So then I listen to, after the Trump tweets, I then listen to the snippets from the news, and it always is in alignment. So think about the influence of that. He has the ability to do 240 characters and influence top CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whatever, CBS, ABC. He runs the media cycle. That's influence and power beyond possibilities. Okay, so the first pillar is Impact Live. What's the second pillar? We had down clarity, confidence, and what else?
Community.
Was it community? I lost my pencil.
That's right.
Yay! Okay. Clarity, confidence, and community. Okay. Now, so let's talk about that. Let's go deeper into that. How can people do this in influence? How can they create clarity, confidence, community?
I love the analogy of what happened to us 24 hours ago.
Okay.
So
what was it?
You had this, you came in the house after meditating.
Yeah.
And it was your first day here. And I've been making great money as a business coach, but I write information products.
Oh, this is good. This is good. I was like, what is she?
And I'm not launching them. And
That's
you
right.
walked in the house and you looked at me, and I'm sitting at my computer working on stuff for a client that I have due next week. And you said, Stephanie, the universe just told me membership sites. And I go, I don't want to create a fucking membership site. I've created 25 membership sites.
That's right. That's what happened. That's true.
And for the last 18 months of my life, I've created multiple information products, membership sites, never launched them, never promoted them, because I love what I do. And what Heather pointed out to me is, we lost one of the feeds. What Heather pointed out to me was, because it's out of battery.
Oh, is that a battery?
Yeah, I told you it was low on signal. So what Heather pointed out to me regarding community is this. I don't need to be the yin and the yang. I don't need to be the wizard and the promoter. I don't need to be the lion and Dorothy and the scarecrow. I don't need to be every role. I don't need to embody every person. I don't need to be the expert at everything. What I need to do is have a community around me where Heather can promote and I can write and create. And I'm an artist when it comes to creating products, when it comes to creating, I study, philosophy and business trends for fun. That's my shits and giggles. That's my downtime.
Because you're crazy.
I write books for fun. And what Heather pointed out to me was that the way that I can propel my own joy in creating these products and sustain my son, my life in Aspen, Colorado, with the amount of money that I need to make, which is a lot, it's for me to have the right community around me. So don't try to be the one who writes the products and the one who promotes it and the one who puts up the website and the one who looks at Google Analytics and the one who's building a social media following.
Right.
Your community helps you stay within what Gay Hendricks calls your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is this. Back in school, you had to get an A in geometry and geography, science, physical fitness, art. You had to get an A in all these subjects. They expected you to excel at lots of things. But here's something interesting. What if, starting from the time you were a brilliant child who loved to paint, or a brilliant child who loved mathematics, or a brilliant child who loves science, what if your teachers and all the people in your life said, you know what, John or Sally or whatever your name is, just stick to your zone of genius, and by the time you graduate high school, you put in your 10,000 hours. Instead, we're graduating from high school, we've done a half-assed job at 10 subjects. We don't know what we want to do with our lives. And most importantly, if you don't stick in your zone of genius, you can't influence the world.
That's right.
So what Heather pointed out to me is that community, having the right pieces on the chessboard to balance me, to leverage my genius, allows me to turn, I don't have to turn my C's into A's. I can make my A's A pluses. I can turn my A's into 6 more zeros behind my income because I'm sticking to my zone of genius, using, delegating, relying upon the resources around me who can help me stick to that zone of genius. Okay, so that's the power of community. Community helps you not do the stupid shit like fixing your printer. Community allows you to leverage the thing you do best. And for Heather and for me, we should be to a certain extent, Heather needs to be out there podcasting, promoting, creating influence, creating coaching, and I need to be out there in my zone of genius, studying, creating products, teaching.
That's right.
Okay, writing books. And so we're talking about the power of her being able to leverage my genius with her genius. And that's where people, did you know that 8 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 8 months?
Really?
People aren't leveraging community.
They're
doing everything themselves.
Right. They're not part of the community. They're not getting
exhausted.
a mastermind. They're not getting inside of a kind of a membership area and talking to people. Or they get the wrong ones. Because you and I have been part of some ones on Facebook and they just complain.
I think Facebook is such a cesspool, and I'm not a huge fan of Facebook groups.
Yeah, especially if they're free. If they're paid, if they're paid, it's different sometimes.
That's true.
If the free ones who are just these random Facebook groups and people start complaining, I think you're right. The energy, the vibe, as you call it, the tribe is your vibe, the vibe is your tribe.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, yeah.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you go into a tribe that raises your vibration, usually a paid one, which I agree with, that because they're all invested into something like a mastermind, a monthly mastermind, which is what, I'm looking at creating the power circle and that monthly mastermind where we're constantly holding each other accountable, but we're all raising our vibe and together. I think that I wonder if there was a study on the first 8 months of the people that failed, if that was because they weren't tapping into a community that really supported them.
Let's use an example. We as women, you and I are surrounded by other women who are going into fitness coaching, Beachbody ambassadorship. Yes. They're selling Beauty Counter. They're selling, weight loss products, stuff like this. Mary Kay, right? So CBD oil is huge now. And what we know from recent studies that were actually published 2 weeks ago is that 99% of the people who join an MLM, and this is on my Facebook page, if you guys have all followed either one of us on Facebook, we'll link it up there. But I have the article on my Facebook page. 99% of these people don't cover the cost to be an affiliate. Mm-hmm. They're paying more money to be in network marketing than they are reaping.
Right.
And I think if those people understood the power of community, they would find one affiliate to do a shout out, to do a send, to do a promotion, to do a live video, to help them push their stuff.
Yeah.
And boom, it's money. But instead, they're going into the local grocery store and trying to hawk their shitty products on everyone they see in the checkout line.
I know. I've
but
had that.
if instead, I have one MLM that I do belong to, and it's called Pre-Built Marketing, and no one's heard of it, and it's a social media marketing system. Do you think I'm trying to sell it to my friends? I never even told Heather about it. I've never told you about it.
No, I didn't know.
Because it's something I put my clients in. And then my clients put their clients in it, right? So by choosing a network marketing company that I'm well suited to promote at a high level with high level influencers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's different.
That's different. But that's engaging the power of my community. I'm not hawking mascara.
No.
I'd hate myself if I did.
I did. I'm part of Idea Life.
Are you?
Yeah. But I don't push it on people. I use it.
I never even heard that you did that.
Yeah.
You never did. Because she doesn't push it on me.
Because I use the products. Michelle Norris got me in. Because I use the products. I mean, they're really... Well, actually...
Well, her and Keith did great with that.
And the reason is one day I was really hungover. And Michelle Norris is a neighbor of mine. And one of their products is this really deep hydration product.
Yeah.
And I was texting her, I'm like, I am really, really, really hungover. Help me. And she's like, I'll put some products on my front porch. Come get them. And so I run over. She put charcoal because it absorbed.
Oh, activated charcoal,
and then these 2 hydration. I was really hungover. And I thought, okay, whatever, I'll do it. So I did the charcoal and I did 2 hydration of the Idea Life, like back to back within 2 hours. And I was like brand freaking new. And so I was like, I'm going to buy the products when it's that. But she's not over there hawking my stuff. She just put her stuff in the front porch and said, it'll work for you here.
But the larger question of community is strategy.
Strategy, yeah, let's go into that.
The larger question of community is how are we leveraging strategic partners? Mm-hmm. Do you know how many people a day contact me on my personal Instagram and want to talk to me and get a discovery call, which is so hot right now, and I hate doing them, and I refuse to just do them.
Oh, they're trying to get one from you, or you're trying to get one from them?
They're trying to get one from me.
Oh, okay.
Do you think I get on the phone with every single person?
No, I don't.
I'm not in that scarcity mindset. Oh, I could make $1,000 off this person. Fuck no. I'm hunting elephants. I'm going to look for the person that's going to pay me $10, $20, $30, $40,000 for my genius. Then I can ignore 20 average people and work with some badass motherfucking entrepreneur who's actually impacting the world, and I'm not distracted with low ticket customers.
Right.
So focusing my strategy on just working with high level businesses, high level entrepreneurs, high paying clients allows me to do better work for that high paying client without the scarcity of exhausting myself on...
I love to hunt elephants. That's a really great...
Yeah.
When you're an influencer, sometimes you have to hunt elephants from a JV perspective. And one thing I've learned from a lot of other influencers that I've interviewed or consulted with is having multiple streams of income. And we talked, and I know that's kind of cliche, but they talk about having a membership site. They talk about having different levels of stuff. They do have sponsorship deals, but they do have advertising revenue. They do have products. They do have email lists. They have affiliate deals. Like right there, I just named 6. And so that way you're not leveraged on just one.
Yeah, I mean, I've got book sales,
right,
business coaching. I have 2 apparel stores. I have 5 information products. But I focus my energy on the meat.
Yeah.
The rest of it is sushi money.
Yeah.
But here's the beautiful thing about the sushi money. When you have multiple streams of income that are all under the same umbrella, they're not competing, but they're complementary.
Yeah.
Then as my business coaching practice grows, as my brand grows, all those other things will grow with me.
That's true.
Because if you look at anyone in the world, and this is what's so powerful about being an influencer, anyone in the world who, as soon as they get 10,000 followers on Instagram, what do you got to do next time you go to a hotel? Ask for a free hotel stay.
I didn't do that.
Ask for a free hotel stay and tell them you'll tag it.
Really? I don't think they do it.
But
I know,
here's the
I
other
think.
thing, the secret of online influencers.
I'm listening.
If you're giving free, incredible content every day consistently, and people are saying, wow, this is my teacher, and they've never paid a cent for your work. 1, 2, 3 years down the line, they've been following you. You can launch a product at $2,000. They're never going to read that product, but they're buying it because they've already bought into you. They trust you, they appreciate you, and they want to say thank you. Time and time again, I talk to people who say, I buy every one of XYZ person's products because for years I've been following her and she's been giving me free tools and free advice. Sure. And when she did this big product launch, I wanted to say thank you and support her. And that's one of the most powerful things about being an online influencer. You could go 3 years without making a penny, but you've got 100,000 raving fans. You can turn on that money machine because you've been doing it with integrity and heart and giving them free, amazing, beautiful content. Because in this day and age, y'all who want to just build some $47 information product and you think you're going to sell it without a brand, I hate to break it to you, you're not going to. You have to have people who love and trust you in this day and age. It's not like it was 10 years ago where you can put an ebook out and charge $50 for it and let someone download it in their email who's never met you because you have a great sales copy. Sales copy does not supersede your personal brand. Your personal brand supersedes your copy every time. And another illustration that I want to give you about that is this video you've probably seen. If you're like me, when my son goes to bed at night, I watch YouTube videos from influencers and marketers and just light my mind up right before I go to sleep, of course. And you've seen the Dean Graziosi video.
Oh, yeah.
Where he gets down from the mountain and he's like huffing and puffing. And he's like, hey, it's Dean Graziosi here. I'm in a mastermind.
And I'm in the middle of the mountains. We should do that. We should probably send that to him.
Do you think that's professional copy?
No.
That's him leveraging his organic attraction, his personal brand, his name, the consistency of him posting videos constantly. If you're Facebook friends with him, he's always posting videos in his car and he's blah, 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 blah in his car. I mean, he just gives. Gary V gives content. Do you think Gary V is broke because all he does is post free content all day?
No.
Fuck no. He's very rich.
But explain that for people. So some people think that.
Some people think that if you give free content away all day long, that you're going to go broke. And the truth is, when you're giving free content away, you're investing in a bank account that you can cash into later. That's true. And people think, oh, you got to give everything for free. You got to give everything for free because people don't expect to pay anymore. There's another side to that story. You've got to give away stuff for free so people know, understand, love, and trust you. And then you can cash in once they trust you. And I think what I've done over the last, since probably September of last year, so really over the last 9 months, is I've focused full bore on building a brand and not thinking about the money. And the more content I post, the more education I post, the more training, the more webinars that I'm posting 100% for free, the more these people are going, thank God for Stephanie. She is teaching me so much. I am learning so much from her. When I do decide to launch one of my courses, what are people going to say? Shit, I've been watching this girl for 2 years. Least I can do is buy her course.
Right. That's right. Dan Locke does the same thing. Dan Locke's great. You ever watched this?
Not yet.
No, yeah. Dan Locke's good. I like his stuff. He does a lot of copywriting. But he gives and gives and gives a lot in teaching copywriting. And then I went through one of his webinars, and his product is $29.95 or $24.95 or something, $3,000. So, but I want to do this. Your brand, you said this, your brand supersedes your what? You said it, and I didn't catch it. What did she say, Gala? Your brand supersedes.
What I was saying is that
your product.
Yeah. Well, everyone thinks you have to have this incredible product.
Yeah. No.
But I think your brand supersedes any phenomenal product or ebook or membership site that you have, because you can drive $100,000 of Facebook traffic right now to your webinar.
That's true.
And then at the end of the webinar, you can try to sell them a $1,900 product.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't know and trust you, your conversion rates are going to probably be shit. There's an ask for every seat. Someone is going to buy your products if you drive enough traffic.
An ask for every
There's
seat.
an ask for every seat. Someone's going to buy your shit. But what I'm saying is that, one of my good friends, Mike Dillard, he's been building his list for probably 15 years, starting with a book called Magnetic Sponsoring. About 15 years ago, I think he wrote it.
Years ago, yeah.
People will buy anything he sells them because he's been giving them content, writing an email every week.
Every single
for
week or day.
years.
I've been on his list for 15 years.
I feel like he writes every day right now.
I probably does. And he's my neighbor too.
Yeah, 15
What's up, Dylan?
years. 15 years he's been investing. Do you think that every single person who buys his products are going to have $1 million launch like he is?
No.
No. He's got the relationship with those people.
Right.
And all the old school marketers who are selling big e-courses, it's not because they're driving Facebook traffic. It's because they've got a relationship.
They've been hustling.
And they've been hustling. I love that one.
I love that. Hustle, baby, hustle. This is for Gary V. Hashtag Gary V. For you.
Hustle hard.
Yeah,
I'm going to fill up my coffee.
You're going to fill up coffee. So we're going to wrap it up in here in a second, but I just want to do this quick little video. Please share this video if you come across it. Share it. And we're also doing YouTube video here as well. We're doing double of the duty of content marketing. I'm here in Aspen, Colorado. Enjoying my time, having coffee, doing yoga, and just creating my presentation that I'm doing in Sam's in a couple of days. I'm super excited about that, which is all about ageless influence and how the power of influence is so important. So even if you have a big business, maybe it's a franchise company, maybe it's a restaurant, you can really have your company be influential in the marketplace, in your industry, and be the forefront of something, okay? That even though you're focused on your customers, you can also focus on being an influence in your industry. I think a lot of companies don't look at that. They think that their only focus is the customer, whoever's buying their products and services. But what they don't see is how that they can be an influence inside their industry. So if you're in the franchise company, okay, you can actually be an influence inside the franchising world. If you're in a restaurant business, you can be actually a influence in the restaurant world. I think there's two types, the two customers, and there's really three. When you have your employees, you look at that. But your first is your product and service, right? But then you also have how can you be an influential inside of an industry? And I think that's one of the things that people don't talk about. So.
And I want to talk about something else.
Sure.
And I didn't prepare you for this, but I know you trust me.
Okay.
And we've known each other 10 years. But
I'm going off
and
camera.
we look the same.
Yeah, I haven't changed.
We haven't changed.
I'm blonder.
We're both blonder. We're both blonder. That's ironic because when I met her, I had black hair. So
That's true, actually.
yeah, I was all Italian in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to tell you a story about a hero of mine when it comes to brand marketing and being an online influencer. And that's Heather. And here's
my
why.
God. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the story, and a lot of you who follow her have been privileged enough to hear her story and how very intimate and how really tragic it was, because she built a business that was taken from under her in 18 months. And she woke up one morning and said, how am I going to pay rent? Like, this person literally blocked me out of my business accounts, you know. It's the absolute horror story, and every great entrepreneur has this story, right? And that's why my business coach says he refuses to work with anyone who hasn't cycled.
Ooh.
Because when you lose everything,
yeah,
you're not an entrepreneur.
No.
When you can make it back,
Yeah.
then you are an entrepreneur. So I want to tell you an entrepreneur love story about a woman who built a very, very successful company, and it was ripped from her illegally overnight.
Yeah.
And she built back up to her amazing, luxurious, gorgeous, influential life because of her brand influence. And
It's true.
that's like, okay, now you can lay your head on your pillow and smile.
Yeah.
That's the love story. That's the hero's journey.
Yeah, it's luckily about a year before that all blew up or was taken, I restarted my brand, and I had let it go, and I wasn't focused on it, and then I started it mainly out of love and just giving because I was focused on this other business, and but yeah, he. Well, whatever, the money was gone, and I had to hawk my engagement ring to pay rent. But that was just to get rent. That, there was nothing else coming. So I had to leverage my brand pretty fast to say, okay, what am I going to give? What am I going to promote? And that's where I had to learn the art of being omnipresent and being everywhere. And I'm more comfortable behind the camera. And we've talked about this. I'm way more comfortable building businesses and having somebody else out there, because I did that for 15 years. It's new being a brand and being out there. But once you give all that up and get out of your head and you just focus on, I've been in business 20 years online. How can I give? How can I share? 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 Just focus on that, and then all that kind of goes away. And then I definitely am a big proponent of Gary Vee and the content creation. Crazy motherfucker he is. Here's to Gary. And thank you for the love story. That is it. But I love that and I agree with you. Every entrepreneur that hasn't cycled is an entrepreneur, including, and I hate to say this, I say this on interviews, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I mean, he's got one win. But if he loses everything, can he build something else?
I don't think he could. I think Bill Gates could. He's multiple. He had a lot of, if you look at his story, he was an up and down until the big. Definitely Amazon for sure.
Well, have you ever read Warren Buffett's biography? It's like a 1,000-page biography. But Warren Buffett's biography was released maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I devoured it overnight almost. But he talks about Bill Gates because they're best buds, and he talks about him like the whole book. And that's a really interesting story of men who harness, and women can do it too, but two men who've harnessed their zone of genius, and they don't get distracted from what they do well. And for them, it's coding and creating, creating companies where they can sit and do their crazy introverted sit behind the computer mastermind thing, the wizard behind the computer, and they've leveraged their zone of genius with the people around them. But the stories of Bill Gates are fascinating because Malcolm Gladwell says that Bill Gates is not self-made. And he says that there's no such thing as a self-made man or woman, because Bill Gates was given access when he was 14 years old to one of the world's first, and at that time, the world's only computer coding lab on a university. And this little boy, Bill Gates, used to ride his bike in the middle of the night to this computer coding lab and train himself to code. So he had the opportunity, he wasn't a trust fund baby, but he had the opportunity to be in this lab that no one else in the world had access to because he lived in a university town. And so that's a really fascinating, it's a story not only about developing a skill. Yeah. Bill Gates has a skill. He was one of the first coders in the world. And the other thing is Malcolm Gladwell uses it in the book Outliers to illustrate the idea that we're all a product of our environment. You're not a self-made man or woman. That's right. Someone, Heather Hurd, 20 years ago, influenced her to get into online marketing. Yeah. So is she a self-starter? Yeah. Is she motivated? Yeah. Is she, but something happened to get her to the next rung in online marketing.
That's right. I saw an infomercial.
You saw an infomercial?
I saw an infomercial. And I saw an infomercial. That's my crazy, weird story. I got fired from a company, and then I saw an infomercial, and then I lied and said I was somebody's spouse so I could get the seminar $1,000 versus $3,000. And then the guys who were running the event said, you need to come travel with us. And so I went to Orlando, moved to Orlando, didn't know anybody, and traveled the country. And from there, I met all these marketers, met Dan Kennedy, and then it was 2003, and I went to my first big seminar. In a big seminar, I sat next to Russell Brunson, Alex Mendozian, all of them, right? I was on stage with Russell. We were doing some stupid thing. Marshall Silver, whatever. I was hypnotized on stage with Russell Brunson, like in 2003. Telman Knudsen, Ryan Dice, Frank Kern. Yeah, all these guys.
What happened to Telman?
He's still around. He's still,
Yes.
yeah. But all these guys that were kind of the, beginning, I was sitting in a seminar room next to them as students, in 2001 and 2. And my first big mastermind was in 2003. I was the only woman, and they asked me to get coffee, but I didn't. So anyway, yeah, it was kind of fun.
Interesting.
All right, we're gonna go. I just wanted to do a wrap up. This is to branding, to friends, marketers,
To branding, to friends, to community.
Yeah, and to the art. What do we call it? The age. Call it the art of influence. We should call it the art of influence. The age of influence. Maybe the art of influence.
Art.
We were
This age
changing.
of influence is already taken.
Okay, we're doing art. Art of influence. We just changed the name. Cool.
We hope this has blessed you guys.
Hope it's blessed you guys. Hey, Rob.